Well, a straight talk video from me to you simply about an experience that I just had with an employee that I was, shall I say, close to giving up on, but who has turned things around in the short term at least. We'll see if it lasts. But as an employer, especially if you're a small business or any level of management within a company that you have a lot of control in, I just want to share with you, when you have an employee whose performance is really lacking, but prior to the lacking performance was either a star performer or at least just did a really good job, was always there on time, no attendance or quality issues, got along with everyone, all the things that we look for and really want in good employees. But then over time started kind of, regressing or certainly just not performing at the levels that he can perform. And I'll use he as a general. I'm old school that way. There may be a lot more to what's going on in his life than just he's not performing well. And especially so if you know that the job environment, the work environment is good, that hasn't changed. If you are a reasonable manager and you're not browbeating your people, driving them into the ditch, in terms of morale, if you've given them the tools that they need to do the job, you've given them enough flexibility to feel like they have some ownership in the job that they do, all those right things. So let's assume that you're that employer or you're that manager who is good that way, and you know that the conditions are such that the employee should be performing as normal, nothing else has changed. There may be some serious things going on in his life. So I guess the approach I want to take with this is, I won't give his name, it's out of respect and privacy, but I'm patient and I'm kind to employees over here, but then over here, I do have a level of rigidity. Areas of job specifics that don't have room for error, and I am rigid in those areas. You would hope that the mechanics who maintain the airplane you fly on have a rigid set of standards, right? So the plane doesn't fall out of the sky. So there are certain aspects of work and job that you need to really hold firm on and you cannot give in on. So this is for you, again, small business owners who may have experienced this, may be experiencing this, or may experience it in the future. Hold true, hold strong to what you know are quality requirements, what you know are attendance requirements. Maybe give some latitude. Maybe there's a situation here and there that come up. Things happen in life. People are human. They're not robots, right? But if you know that, it's becoming a regular issue with this guy and everyone else is normal, everybody else on your payroll is, or the vast majority who are maybe in a similar kind of a role, are performing like they should. Nothing else is changing with them, but this one person suddenly have all the issues where the personal issues are, you may not know, but something's causing all this stuff to take place. The role, the tipping point with this individual was a customer callback situation that should not have been. This guy does really good work, but we were called back into a situation, and I went to that customer's home looking at the job as I do with any callbacks that we have. We fortunately have very few. Well, we have a home services company, we have a carpet cleaning, rug washing, upholstery care company. And but I check out any callbacks we have, I go there. And my employees know that. One reason that they're on their toes as far as quality is I'll be there looking at it if they don't do a good job. I also kind of pop in from time to time to say hi to the customers while the employee's there. Okay, so that kind of keeps the quality, up as well. But this was a case where I got there and it was so bad, and the technician had told the customer that this is kind of as good as it gets, and which was not the case. And he knew better, and the customer knew better. Frankly, it looked worse when he was done than when he started, in the eyes of the customer. So that was the tipping point, and that's where I had to have a come to Jesus meeting with the employee, and it upset me so much. I just said, enough is enough. I have to lower the boom, and this guy has to go. He just has to go if it can't be fixed, because now it's gone way too far south. And part of that's on me. In part, it's on me. I think I allowed it to go too far. Even though I'm like, he was late, I'm saying, gotta be on time, gotta have good quality, all stuff. As far as really laying the law down in a very firm way, I took too long, I think. So when I brought him up to my office, shut the door, we had a very serious meeting, and it was a one-way conversation. This was not a two-way conversation. I wanted to hear no excuses. This is the way it has to be, or you're out the door, just that fast. And it was loud. It was straight to the point. Had all my facts straight, not all written down because they're all up here because it's just everything floated up because there's so many issues. Scared him to his knees practically. He was almost in tears. And at that point, not that I didn't care, but that didn't bother me. And he saw it. He got the message very quickly. I try not to have those kinds of meetings. I try and give as much latitude as I can where I can. The next couple of days, he was very much kind of tail between his legs, sort of, head down, kind of coming in, doing his work, doing good work, not wanting to make eye contact. And I pulled him aside just 2 days ago, and I said, look me in the eye. And I said, we're moving past this. You're a valuable employee. I value you as a human being, beyond just being an employee of mine. I care for you. You are important to me. Not just because of the business. If the business weren't here, you would be important to me. And he started tearing up. And he said, thank you. And he went home. This was at the end of the day. This morning, he came to work. Everything's good. And he pulled me aside, and I can spot a phony pretty quickly. This was very deep, very real, had tears in his eyes, and he said, thank you. I said, for what? He said, you saved my life. I was in a very dark place, and I was slipping down. And he said, I got to a point of not wanting to live. I had suicidal thoughts. Now, I had no idea that this was where his mind was. But he said, you have his name that you hired, not the one that you had for the last couple of months. When I first hired him 8 months ago, he was a superstar. So he said, you got that guy back, and I'm here to stay. And he was so transformationally changed. Now, we will see if it lasts. I'm not so naive to think that this could do this number again. But I did tell him, he had told me that when you read me the riot act a few days ago, I felt it, and I knew he did because he was in tears practically. But he said, you've got the original me back. And I told him, I said, I meant everything I said. So this can't be like this and then do this again, because then you have to go. So I'm still holding firm, and gently but firmly, if you can do that in tandem, holding to it. He said, I understand. I said, okay. But when he mentioned about having been suicidal or having suicidal ideations, I think whatever his issues are that are causing him to get there, I think having told him that he's important, that I value him as a human being aside from just as a worker, that meant a lot to him. This is an individual who lost his father at 15 years of age and whose mother was a drug addict and just died 6 weeks ago. He's been through it all. Grew up with no good atmosphere, no good role models to speak of. And this I knew months ago. We just talked privately. He was sharing personal aspects of his life, and then when his mother passed away, it's been a big deal. So, all that said, you as a small business person or a manager in a company where you have this flexibility and authority, you might be surprised what employees are going through. And if you show them value, hold to your values, your requirements, job requirements. But I would suggest not to let them go as far as I allowed in this situation, to where the top blew. I was being, I think, way too patient. But be open to the idea that your employee, who might be that situational person, if you will, for lack of better words, may be going through hell on earth up here. And you don't even know, perhaps. So it's worth having conversations. It's worth bringing employees in, particularly those who you think something's not quite right, and just have a pleasant sit down. I should have done that, and I did not. To say, what's going on in your life? Things are really, really off here. And it's not just the job. Something must be deeper than that. Talk to me. I'm here to help you. We do have that as a responsibility, I think, to our employees. And I think it'll serve you well, and your employees as well. And you may save a life. Well, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy this Job Tips Straight Talk, and in this case, small business advice type video. If you do like it, if you got some value from it, please like, subscribe, share, all those good things. And I hope you have the kind of day and the kind of business and the kind of job, life, career, kind of everything that you want to have. Take care.